Welcome to another episode. In this video, we will compare some basic aspects of the military strength of Israel and Iran. In practical terms, which of the two countries is better prepared for modern warfare? Comparing the military power of two nations is no easy task. Basically, there are two approaches. The first and simplest is to play top trumps, listing the number of soldiers, armored vehicles, aircraft, and ships each side has, adding them all up, comparing the results, and declaring a winner. The second option, which is much more complex, involves analyzing the data one by one and carefully evaluating each element that makes up the armed forces, giving much less weight to quantity and placing much more value on quality, both in terms of training and equipment. This is what I try to do in the military strength comparisons here on the channel, and it is what I will attempt in this analysis between Iran and Israel. Let's begin our comparison by quickly examining the composition of each country's forces. The armed forces of the Islamic Republic of Iran have three branches. The army, known as Artesh. The Revolutionary Guard, responsible for defending, maintaining, and enforcing what they call Islamic revolutionary values. And a police force for maintaining internal order. The Artesh has four branches: the ground force, the air force, the navy, the newly established air defense force. Currently, around 450,000 military personnel are active in these four branches, with the majority, 350,000, serving in the ground force. The Artesh ground force is Iran's regular army. In addition to its 350,000 active soldiers, it also has 350,000 reservists. This branch has approximately 1,500 armored vehicles, mainly Soviet T-72 tanks. It also operates British Chieftain tanks and Iran's most modern tank, the Zulfikar, which is a hybrid between the M60 and the T-72's smoothbore cannon. Iranian forces also use hundreds of armored fighting and troop transport vehicles, including the Russian BMP and BTR, the American M113, and at least 30 to 35 Cascavel vehicles from Brazil. The Iranian ground force also operates AH-1JC Cobra and CH-47 Chinook helicopters, acquired before the 1979 Islamic Revolution. In fact, much of Iran's military equipment predates the revolution, meaning that over 70% of its vehicles, artillery, and heavy equipment are, on average, 40 years old. The Iranian Air Force has 37,000 personnel and a significant number of aircraft. However, just like the ground force, much of its equipment dates back to before the 1979 revolution. One of the highlights is the F-14 Tomcat, received from the United States in the 1970s. Out of the 79 aircraft originally received, it is estimated that between 24 and 28 are still operational. The Air Force also operates around 20 MiG-29 fighter jets, just over 20 Sukhoi Su-24 attack aircraft, 26 F-5 fighters, about a dozen Chinese Chengdu F-7 jets, and large numbers of F-4 Phantom II jets, with the exact number hovering around 45. Additionally, Iran has nearly 30 C-130 Hercules transport planes, 5 P-3 Orion patrol aircraft, and Boeing 707 and 747 planes used for transport and aerial refueling. Despite its age, Iran's aircraft fleet is surprisingly well maintained, as decades of U.S. sanctions have forced the Iranians to develop ways to keep these planes operational. The Iranian Navy consists of 13,000 military personnel, along with 2,500 Marines and 2,000 technicians and pilots. It operates 7 submarines, 3 of which are Russian Kilo-class submarines commissioned in the early 1990s. The other 4 are locally produced, much smaller, and have very limited capabilities. Iran has few large surface ships, such as frigates and destroyers, with a total number of these vessels not exceeding a dozen. However, where the Iranian Navy truly stands out is in its small, fast, and highly maneuverable missile and torpedo boats. Despite being relatively simple vessels, when operated skillfully and in large numbers, they can cause significant damage to any enemy fleet. The fourth branch of the Artesh is the Air Defense Force, created as a separate branch in 2008. It has around 15,000 active military personnel and is responsible for operating an unknown but suspected to be very high number of air defense systems. Although it still uses many old and obsolete weapons, such as 40mm Bofors anti-aircraft guns, this branch also operates modern and highly effective systems, such as the Russian S-300, with Iran having around 8 fully operational batteries. These modern air defenses are complemented by older, locally developed systems, creating multiple layers of air defense coverage across the country, especially around air bases and key military-industrial facilities. Due to its extensive air defense network and strategic focus on this area, Iran has become one of the strongest nations in air defense in the region. The Artesh represents Iran's regular army, but outside of it, there is also the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, which was created in 1979 following the Islamic Revolution. This elite force, consisting of over 120,000 personnel, is tasked with defending what the Iranian government calls an Islamic system, preventing foreign interference in the country. Beyond its military role, the IRGC is heavily involved in domestic surveillance and control, maintaining a tight grip on civil society, including news outlets, websites, blogs, and even political, economic, and cultural activities. Within the IRGC, there are several specialized combat units, including the Quds Force. The Quds Force has been active in several countries in the region, particularly in Iraq, Syria, and Lebanon, serving as a key link in supporting and reinforcing Hezbollah. Now, let's move on to a qualitative comparison of both nations' military forces, starting with ground forces. Israel's armored force, composed of Merkava tanks, is superior to anything Iran currently possesses. This is especially true for the Merkava Mark IV, which is equipped with a trophy active protection system, capable of intercepting and destroying incoming threats like anti-tank missiles and RPGs. Israel also stands out in artillery, operating over 600 M109 self-propelled howitzers and dozens of M270 multiple rocket launchers. Israel's air force is far ahead of Iran's, both in terms of quality and technological superiority. Israel operates over 75 F-15 fighters, including Eagle and Strike Eagle variants, and nearly 350 F-16s, including 100 F-16I Sufa jets, a highly advanced version developed specifically for Israel. Israel is also receiving the F-35, the world's most advanced stealth fighter. Although the F-35 is not yet fully operational, Israel has already received 9 out of the 75 aircraft scheduled for delivery over the next 6 years. In terms of attack helicopters, Israel is also well equipped, operating large numbers of Bell AH-1 Cobra and Boeing AH-64 Apache helicopters, as well as dozens of Black Hawk and Sikorsky CH-53 helicopters. Israel is extremely well equipped in air defense, operating the Iron Dome, a highly effective system that has been operational since 2011 and is designed to intercept short-range rockets and artillery shells. For longer-range threats, Israel operates the Patriot GM+, a modernized version of the Patriot missile system developed specifically for Israel. Additionally, Israel operates the Arrow missile defense system, capable of intercepting ballistic missiles at altitudes over 200 kilometers. Israeli soldiers are also equipped with over 600 FIM-92 Stinger portable missile launchers, which are highly effective against attack aircraft and helicopters. Both countries have significant combat experience, gained through years of military conflicts and regional operations. Would you like me to continue with further comparisons, such as naval capabilities, cyber warfare, or intelligence operations? However, Iran's hierarchical military structure, which is heavily based on a quasi-caste system, limits the autonomy and creativity of its officers in the field. Many fear arbitrary and severe punishments, which discourages independent decision-making. In contrast, Israel follows the opposite approach. Its military training is designed to produce officers and leaders who can think independently on the battlefield, adapting their tactics dynamically as the battle evolves. While this detail may seem minor, it makes a huge difference in combat situations. Overall, Israel possesses more advanced and modern weapons and equipment than Iran. In terms of training and strategy, Israeli military doctrine follows Western practices, emphasizing autonomy on the battlefield. Since Iran and Israel are geographically separated by Iraq, a direct military confrontation between the two would primarily occur in the air and through missile strikes. Aerial warfare. Israel would have a clear and overwhelming advantage, as long as its aircraft remain outside Iran's air defense zones. Missile strikes. Both nations possess long-range missile capabilities, which would play a critical role in any conflict. Israel's primary ballistic missile is the Jericho-3, which has a range of over 6,000 kilometers and can carry a warhead of nearly 1.5 tons, enough to deliver a 450-kiloton nuclear bomb. Iran, on the other hand, has a wide range of ballistic missiles, many still under development. However, two confirmed operational models include Shahab-3 1,300 kilometers range, Sejal 2,000 kilometers range. Both of these can reach deep into Israel. Although detailed technical specifications are unknown, it is believed that Iranian missiles can carry warheads of up to 1 ton. Although Israel does not officially confirm its nuclear arsenal, it is widely believed to possess between 80 and 120 operational nuclear warheads. Iran, meanwhile, is widely suspected to be on the verge of developing its own nuclear weapons, though it has not yet officially tested one. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, make sure to subscribe now and turn on notifications so you don't miss any updates.